Hello good people, my name is Snail, but you can call me Taylor, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing a little bit of a sketchbook tour of one of my sketchbooks from the 9th grade, which was quite a few years ago. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what I was up to back then, and hopefully you guys are into it as well. Comment below if you guys have any ideas for what you might want me to do next, and yeah, hope you enjoy the video. For this sketchbook, I think I made it in around 9th grade. I picked it because I was really invested in my art during this time. So I had a lot of like color and painting and sort of more finished stuff going on, and I thought that that'd be a lot more entertaining than 100 pen sketches of the same three characters. So yeah, here we go. I remember I had to start buying sketchbooks with more durable covers because of how bad this one was. Like, it's so close to falling off. So here we have, sketchbook belongs to Taylor. If lost outside of school, call my number. And then reward was my eternal gratitude and $5. In this sketchbook, we have a lot of sort of development that I was doing for a webcomic that I was running. A lot of development stuff here. This was the spaceship that my characters would travel around in, called the Querencia Dwale. Bit of a mouthful. If I could go back, would probably change that. Oh yeah, and then we had the interior. So it was like a little bathroom in here, storage below, there was a little engine in here, the cockpit, the like hatch to go outside, and a couple bunk beds, and some stuff over here. Like, it was like a little houseboat, but it was a spaceship. Here we have a drawing of Joy that I did, but of course revamped, new design here. Remember I had to edit out the ears in a lot of these, because they're supposed to be based off of foxes, right? Like the nine-tailed fox. I was so nervous that my friends were gonna call me a furry, so I had to take out like all of the ears. Hindsight, didn't have fantastic friends, but what can you do? I remember, my friend used to be mad at me a lot, so I used to draw like sorry snails for her. So here's a sorry snail. We have Angela, Dwight, and Garbage, the cat from The Office. Here's, I drew some random blobs and turned them into characters. I like this apple girl a lot. And we have a drawing of Gansey from the Raven Cycle over here. I remember I hated drawing in pencil in the sketchbook because the smudging was so out of control. Yeah, we have another Raven here in charcoal, which you can't see here, but it says Smudge City, baby. And I had to not draw on any of the pages opposite any charcoal or pencil that I did, otherwise it would smudge like crazy. So yeah, we had a don't draw here, respect the Raven. And then here I went to Chicago, and so I would draw the pictures that I took. Here's my sister with some glasses. We have this little museum I went to, so there was some, like, this guy was one of the pictures, so I made my own little characters out of that. We have some frontward facing puffins, just because I felt like it, I guess. Kind of a bad drawing of a snake around someone's arm. Some character stuff. Yeah, so here's another example of me editing out the ears and tail on this character, because Sarah obviously is supposed to have ears and a tail. This is supposed to be an important story moment, but I was so nervous that one of my friends would look through my sketchbook and like see the ears and tail and be like, oh my gosh, guys, Taylor's a furry. Everyone make fun of her. So obviously edited him out. Here are some drawings I did, I think on an airplane, of the characters from Victoria Schwab's Vicious? Something like that. Like Villain, Vicious, I don't know, it's a book with a red cover, really good, I recommend it. We've got 2 more characters from the webcomic. We have some drawings of Link from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, because I was playing it. Never actually finished the game because I was so bad, but the designs were cool. We've got some weapons, some planning for a commission I did. Pyramid Head. I was watching Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, was drawing the characters and like settings from it because I really liked the aesthetic of the show. Ooh, here we have some art from Throne of Glass, the Throne of Glass series, if you've ever heard of it. Like YA fantasy, kind of bad now that I look back on it, but it had me in a chokehold back in 9th grade. And here we've got a little pyramid head. Some houses, because I really don't like drawing backgrounds, but I wanted to get better. Ooh, little octopus mermaid. Really like this one, actually. Here we've got Toru from Fruits Basket and Kyo, and my brother from the side watching High School Musical in the car. We've got Manatee, but I didn't remember what their little flippers look like, so it has hands. Thus the French pun, manatee, like meh. I was drawing my friends from across the class, but they looked bad. Trying to figure out manatees. Here was some character design for the webcomic again. This guy was supposed to be sort of like a dragonfly prince, and his whole thing was like he'd get consumed by crystals the longer he was alive. So he'd die really young by getting like so many crystals that they'd puncture his vital organs, and like he'd just be covered in yeah, so you've got crystals coming out of him. I kind of wrote that out, or just decided that it was a bad storyline, because it's kind of a one-note character. Like, he's just here to teach her a lesson, then he explodes into crystals. Like, come on, give him something else. This I drew, I think, on a plane again. And some girl with a bird. And then Angelica, no, not Angelica, Eliza from Hamilton, which I think maybe one of the only Hamilton pieces of fan art that I did. Which, I don't know, but I like how it came out. Over here on the other side, we've got this little, like, Hanahaki disease illustration I did. Because I was weirdly obsessed with the concept of, like, oh, you die because you like someone and they don't like you back. Because I was sort of dealing with the same, like, oh, I like someone and they didn't like me back at the time. So I was very, like, I'm gonna draw so much of the art about it. Flowers. Another character from the webcomic, and then I just, like, drew around the bleed through on the flowers. Here we did another, like, blobs into characters sort of thing, and some more character design for the comic. Some more comic stuff. This was going to be somewhat early on, where the two main characters dance, and it was going to be like, oh, their romance is sort of beginning. Akito, I guess, and Kyo from Fruits Basket. So obsessed with this show still. Don't know if that'll ever go away, but I drew them more back in the day. I was splicing animals together. This is a bull shark, or a bark, and a gorilla chihuahua, the gorhuahua. We've got some bird I drew. I watched Endgame, and I think this one might still be up on my community posts, but yeah, I drew that. Here's a portrait of one of my friends. We're not friends anymore, but I still kind of like how this drawing is. I think it captured her. Nautilus mermaid. My cat a bunch of times, and some flowers. I still really like this little beetle girl in here. I was just sort of fitting characters and drawings into a thing. Here's a knight riding in on a centipede, and a deer thing, and a bear doing yoga. I think this was a self-portrait. It's like me listening to music really loud, I guess. Because that's a thing I did. Here we have, I like this actually. This was a mermaid who I guess is decomposing and was like dragging the arm of her victim away. And there's a random cafe scene. Here we've got some more of the Raven Boys characters. We've got Blue, I think Gansey and Persephone up here. And some, like, siren woman. The Sabrina from Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Some stuff that I drew outside. Some more, this was the crystal guy again. He's back. And his wife, I think. I like this drawing a lot. I think the shapes are good, but yeah, we were getting into a big creature design phase here. So I was doing a lot of creature design because my webcomic was mostly set in space. So I had a lot of aliens that I needed to design, just so things wouldn't look so like, this is a person with ears and they're an alien. I wanted to do like unnatural stuff. Oh, here was, I drew, this little bit is my science classroom at the time, and then like this one was my house, or what I thought my house looked like. I didn't really remember, so I was trying to draw it from memory. Here's a character from the webcomic that I didn't draw very much, so I was trying to get more familiar with him here. His name was Cell, and he was very sad and creative. And he was supposed to be like in love with the Sarah's sister. Unfortunately, Sarah's sister, I think, was supposed to end up with a girl, and so rest in peace, Cell. That's unfortunate. Here, there's a bit of a story around this drawing here. So this acquaintance I was at camp with, who I was trying to be better friends with at the time, he drew this very unflattering portrait of our friend. Like, it started off being our friend, but then we were like, what if she was a zombie? So she has like a bite on her neck and like eye bags and stuff, and like Chub Life because her cat's name was Mr. Chubbs. And so that was interesting. It is not very flattering, and I think she saw it while she was here, so the next page, we were like, we're so sorry, how do we fix this for you? I'm sorry we drew you in a mean way. So it was like, sorry Snail, and I drew a giant sorry Snail on a different piece of paper that's not here for her because we had screwed up so badly. And here was some planning for the comic. You'll see a lot of that later on. I just drew like a sphinx and like, I actually kind of like this. It was like a sphinx type deal and then a merman who I guess they were in love. I was like, oh, wouldn't that be cool? Like, they combat their different like life situations and they're still in love. I don't know. Some background practice. We have like a boat. I don't like how much is smudged. It's kind of hard to see. And then we have a lot of comic planning here. These all actually got turned into pages and posted online, but I probably won't drop the link. If those of you who did see it while it was up, good on you. But if I ever go back to that comic, I'll definitely be rewriting it and like redesigning a bunch of stuff before I consider like revisiting that website and whatnot. It might still be up, I don't know, but who knows. Here's Nanami and Tomoe from Kami-sama Kiss. I have no idea what this says up here. I definitely just copied it off of whatever photo I was looking at for reference. Kind of wish I knew what that meant. Sorry if I butchered it. I don't know what it says. But yeah, here's them together. I had this like pack of aliens as a girl gang and I wanted to draw them as humans. So here's all of them. They had kind of weird names. So we've got like Exane and Aki and Zell, Mags, and Shuyel, I think her name was. But I kind of liked all of these. They were pretty cute. I might use these designs for something else at some other time, but I thought they were cute. Oh, here we have, I don't know, the characters. They finally got together and I was like, oh, maybe I'll use this as an end panel, but I realized the foolishness of my my actions there by sort of drawing the end panel before I even made it past the first chapter yet. I was just really excited about the end. And then we have some different development stuff for like a whole different thing. This character was supposed to be sort of a shell thief, like she'd take famous shells and bring them back to the ocean at the ocean's request. And then this character was a detective who, like, they lived together or whatever. It's gonna be like a tragic mermaid love story. Yeah, so here was her again, the shell thief. And then she was supposed to transport a dragon. I don't know if I'll actually ever use this concept, but I don't know. Yeah, Azura and Mars, I think their names were. And then I was doing like a Selkie romance thing with these characters, Aurelie and Lucian, who I actually kind of liked how these turned out. But yeah, it was supposed to be sort of like he's a Selkie who's looking to, like, I don't know, it was a whole thing. Like, her boyfriend died, so she'd always go drop roses off a cliff or whatever at the ocean. And he knew, he'd see her every year, and then he finally came up to go meet her or whatever. So that was the story there. But she didn't know that he was the seal. So it was a whole, like, oh, he can never take off his coat and he always eats fish, but she's a vegetarian or vegan or something. So she's like, oh, why are you always wearing this fur coat? And then he tries to take her coat to make her fall in love with him. I don't know. It was a whole thing. So yeah, we got some more comic planning. This lasts for really, I guess the font was Avenir Light, which is a bit weird. But yeah, so we had a lot of these. All of these got turned into pages. Helen. Here I was watching Barbie and the Musketeers. So this was Corinne from Barbie and the Musketeers and some castle. And then I was drawing my foot while I was trying to learn Morse code. So that's what this was. I ended up getting a new cat. so I was sort of drawing like gross cats and brainstorming names for him. He ended up being named Meatball, not Danny Phantom, but God, I wish I could name a cat Danny Phantom at some point. Like, how perfect would that be? Here was some cats that I drew. Kind of like how these turned out. And this was, I think, a screenshot from the intro to Anne with an E, but I was just sort of drawing that. So I drew How Tragical at the bottom, because that's what she says. The landscape there. Here I was drawing a few, like I started high school, I think, at this point. And so I was drawing some of my friends in the Starbucks, like across from our school. We've got some, I was doing some just like free drawing, trying to figure out perspective over here. Kind of like this page. This is a cute little elf girl. Got a rhino eating cake. Yeah, here I edited out the ears again. Can't let them see my my character with ears because they'll think that I'm a furry. And honestly, there's nothing even wrong with furries. Like, they're just doing their own thing. But like, the amount of stress when you are called a furry every day. But yeah, we had some, I edited out the ears again. Just drawing some like hands and stuff. More hands. Got a lot of Ren drawings here. That was the man character who used to be Brian. I kind of like his design there. He was like a scruffy little guy. This one, I was listening to Stand By You, which is a song that I really don't like now. Here was some development stuff for these two characters I was writing about. Like the main character again, and then this side character she ran into, and like their home world. So we've got some stuff about their powers and stuff. This was another thing. It was supposed to be like, oh, here are their guardians of the universe or whatever. So we had good, evil, future, past, present, and then truth and lies. And they weren't very well thought out at all. They were just kind of conceptual, and I had no idea how they were fitting into the story, but, you know. So we had Joy again before she had her hair cut off. Here's another one of Ren. A lot of Ren, actually. He was kind of a cutie. Still like his design. And then we had a bunch of Sarah. I drew her probably the most. I guess at this point I was, like, school was sort of over, or the sketchbook was, like, starting to be done, and I wasn't bringing it to school as much, so I was like, I'll just start drawing ears in there, why not? And then finally made it to the end of chapter 2, I guess, in the notes, but I never ended up drawing those. This is Azura again, and I guess Orly and Lucian, whose name became Sean or Ronan or something. We had Juno from the movie Juno. Finally, the last thing I can really show in here is the Oran High School Host Club, because I was trying to explain it to a friend of mine. We had Mori up here, where he basically doesn't have a personality. Haruhi with the shoulder pads, I guess. Tamaki with the roses. The twins look like little goblins. Honey with a knife behind his back. And Kyoya, who I really didn't like. But yeah, that is my sketchbook. I hope you guys enjoyed it and liked seeing the progress. Whenever I end up actually finishing my current one, I'll probably share that as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope this was at least somewhat entertaining for you.